Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, June 27, 2023. We're going to try to make this a shorter show today. We don't have that much to do as we did yesterday. MLB, WNBA, soccer, Men's College World Series, futures portfolio, NHL mock draft, news and notes, and best bet. All right, baseball will start. We'll go over yesterday's games. There was only 6 of them. And we will look ahead to the games being played tonight. Orioles over the Reds 10-3, Brewers over the Mets 2-1, Braves over the Twins 4-1, Tigers over the Rangers 7-2, Angels over the White Sox 2-1, and the Mariners over the Nats 8-4. So best bet lost. I took White Sox Angels over at 8.5, and it went way under. So back-to-back best bet losses for the first time in about 2.5 weeks. All right, tonight's game, 7 o'clock, you have the Reds at the O's. Andrew Abbott and Tyler Wells. Abbott's been terrific. This is a good series, O's-Reds, considering that the Reds have been really good and the O's can absolutely win the AL East. The O's are minus 142. The Reds are plus 120. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Reds plus 1.5 is minus 166. O's minus 1.5 is plus 138. I'm going full game under, believe it or not, because both of these pitchers have been outstanding. Padres, Pirates, Yu Darvish, Rich Hill. Padres are big favorites, minus 188. Pittsburgh's plus 158, over under 9, minus 110 each way. Pittsburgh plus 1.5 is minus 104. Padres minus 1.5 is minus 115. The Pirates have been playing very poorly lately. I'm going to lay the 1.5 on the run line with the Padres at minus 115. Going back to the well of San Diego for tonight. Giants, Jays. Ryan Walker and Kevin Gausman. Jays minus 166. Giants plus 140 over under 8.5. Minus 110 each way. Giants plus 1.5 is minus 137. Jays minus 1.5 is plus 114. And this is another full game under. Gausman's been terrific this year, and Walker's been good in his 2 starts so far. Marlins, Red Sox. Sandy Alcantara and Garrett Whitlock. Sox minus 130. Marlins plus 110 over under 9.5. Overs minus 106. Unders minus 114. Marlins plus 1.5 is minus 176. Red Sox minus 1.5 is plus 146. I'm going full game over here. Alcantara's been terrible this year. Garrett Whitlock, don't trust him. Brewers, Mets. Julio Teheran and David Peterson. Mets minus 154. Brewers plus 130 over under 9. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Brewers plus 1.5 is minus 156. Mets minus 1.5 is plus 130. I'm going Brewers again, plus 130. The Mets are a mess. There's no other way to put around it. And the Mets are overvalued because they're the Mets. And they play in New York. And they get all this favoritism because they have 2 borderline washed-up pitchers. And they have a manager who's good. But I think it's more of the GM's fault than his. TBS, 720, Twins, Braves. Joe Ryan, Bryce Edler. Braves minus 156. Twins plus 132 over under 9. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Twins plus 1.5 is minus 154. Braves minus 1.5 is plus 128. Full game under. That is way too high of a number with these 2 good pitchers going at it. Astros, Cards. Framber Valdez, Jordan Montgomery. Astros minus 120. Cards plus 102 over under 8. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Astros minus 1.5 is plus 130. Cards plus 1.5 is minus 156. I'm going full game under here too. Valdez has just been a monster this year. 8 o'clock, Tigers, Rangers. Matt Manning and Martin Perez. Rangers minus 196. Tigers plus 164 over under 9.5. Overs minus 8. Unders minus 112. Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 132. Rangers minus 1.5 is even money. Tough one here too. I'm going to go with under 4 Tiger runs minus 111. Phillies, Cubs, that's a decent series. Ranger Suarez and Jameson Taillon. We don't have a line for this yet, But if the Cubs are favored, I'll bet on Philadelphia, only because Suarez is better than Tyon. Total, if it's anything lower than 9, I'll take the over. Guardians, Royals, Gavin Williams and Brady Singer. Guardians minus 146, Royals plus 124, over under 9, overs minus 122, unders even money. Guardians minus 1.5 is plus 114, Royals plus 1.5 is minus 137. Full game over is overjuiced. So instead, I'm going to go with over 4 Royal runs and minus 115. I know it's a shocking pick, but it's the pick I got to make. 8:30 Dodgers, Rockies. Clayton Kershaw and Connor Seabold. Dodgers minus 300, Rockies plus 245, over under 12, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Dodgers minus 1.5 is minus 184, Rockies plus 1.5 is plus 152. I'm going full game under. They always juice up the Rockies stuff, but Clayton Kershaw is still Clayton Kershaw. I like the under a lot. I know he's had rocky history against the Rockies in Coors in Denver, but I like the under here, full game. White Sox, Angels. Michael Kopech and Shohei Ohtani. Angels minus 196, White Sox plus 164, over under 8, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 118, Angels minus 1.5 is minus 102. I'm going to go full game under. I think Ohtani and Kopech finally pitch up to their potentials. Yankees, A's. Johnny Brito and Paul Blackburn. Yanks minus 136, A's plus 116, over under 8, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Yankees minus 1.5 is plus 116. A's plus 1.5 is minus 140. We'll go with the over. I don't like Johnny Brito. I don't think he's any good. But the Yankee offense saw some signs of life in that Rangers series when they rallied. And the Rangers pitching staff is pretty darn good. Oakland's pitching staff, except for a few guys. Blackburn's okay, but their bullpen is horrific. So I like full game over. Rays, D-backs. Taj Bradley and Zach Gallen. D-backs minus 130, Rays plus 110, over under 8.5, overs minus 102, unders minus 120. Rays plus 1.5 is minus 182, D-backs minus 1.5 is plus 150. Tough one. The Diamondbacks, do they deserve to be favored here? Absolutely. Zach Gallen's their ace, and they're home. If Tampa was favored here, it would have been AL East favoritism bias, but they're not. I'm going to go under 3.5 Rays runs at plus 102 because Zach Gallen is that good. And last but not least, Nats, Mariners, Jake Irvin, and Brian Wu. Mariners minus 240, Nats plus 198, over under 8.5, overs even money, unders minus 122. Nats plus 1.5 and Mariners minus 1.5 is minus 110 each way. Wu pitched well against the Yankees last time out. For my pick, I'm going to go with under 3 Nat runs at minus 102. Okay, now move on to the WNBA. We'll go over yesterday's lone result, and then we have a couple games tonight. Aces over to Fever, 88-80. Aces 13-1, Indiana 5-9. So, did the Aces cover? Yes, barely. By literally one basket. All right, 3 games tonight, 7 o'clock NBA TV, Liberty Sun from Connecticut. Great game. I can't wait to see the line here. The Liberty are favored by 4.5, totals 166.5. Wrong team's favored, believe it or not. Give me the Sun plus 4.5 and plus 172 outright. I know the Sun just lost Alyssa Thomas. Or was it Alyssa Thomas? Somebody got injured in for the Sun. I understand that. The Liberty are 4.5. Give me Connecticut plus 4.5 and plus 172. Nobody believes in the Sun. I do. Liberty are overvalued yet again on the road. They're the most overvalued team against the spread in the WNBA right now. Not saying they're awesome. I love the Liberty, but they're overvalued in the betting market. That's all. And all 3 games tonight, Commissioner's Cup, 8 o'clock CBS, Storm Lynx. The Lynx favored by 2.5, totals 160.5. I'm laying the points to the Lynx. And at 10 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, Wings Mercury. The Wings are favored by 3.5, totals 167.5. The Mercury are a mess. They have an intern coach now. Do they get the bump? Maybe. I wouldn't bank on it. Give me the Wings minus the 3.5 against the Mercury. All right, now I'll move on to soccer. Games of note from yesterday, not a lot. And we will look ahead to anything going on today. So we'll start with the Gold Cup. Martinique over El Salvador 2-1. Panama over Costa Rica 2-1. 2 games tonight. 7 o'clock you have Canada and Guadeloupe. I'm going to pull up the odds right now. Canada's minus 900. Guadeloupe is 15-1. The draw's plus 650. I'm going to go over 3.5 goals plus 192. And then 8:45 we have Guatemala and Cuba. Guatemala is minus 250. Cuba's plus 650. The draw is 3-1. For this one, I'm going to go with this is a fun one. Both teams to score, yes, plus 166. That's actually a really, really fun one. And then Euro under 21. We have 4 games today. No odds are posted, unfortunately. So 12 o'clock, you have Netherlands and Georgia. I think Georgia can beat the Dutch. I do. Portugal, Belgium, I think that's Portugal's game to lose. 2:45, you have Croatia and Romania. Romania stinks. Give me Croatia. And then Spain, Ukraine. Spain's not losing to anyone right now. They're red hot. Spain, U2-1. So I'm going with Spain in that one. All right, Men's College World Series, game number 3. So the series is now over as LSU gets it done 18-4. So another blowout over Florida. But this time LSU is the team that's wins in blowout fashion as they win the 2023 Men's College World Series. Good for LSU. They had the most talent. They really were a great team this year, and led by Dylan Cruz and led by series MVP Paul Skenes, as he was named the most outstanding player. So congrats, Paul Skenes, as he and Dylan Cruz might as well be the top 2 picks in the draft. And Florida had a great season too, so that can't be ignored. So game 1 was fine, but games 2 and 3 were absolute blowouts. So yeah. So now we turn to the MLB draft, which is in a couple weeks. I'll be doing mocks for the MLB draft again starting next week. So looking forward to that and seeing how many players from each team will be picked. And Will Langford's the star of the Florida team. He'll be a top 5 pick in a couple of weeks as well. So again, congrats to LSU. All right, the portfolio. It's going to be interesting these next couple of weeks to find the value. I'm considering college football for today. There are 2 teams in a particular conference. I just want to see if the conference odds are up. But there are 2 teams in a particular conference that bring back their quarterbacks. And both players should be considered for the Heisman Trophy. One team has way better odds to win its conference than the other. So there are two guys I have my eyes on in the same conference for the trophy, the big trophy. And that is North Carolina quarterback Drake May and Florida State quarterback Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis is 18-1. And Drake May is also 18-1. And my question is, which team of the two is going to be better between North Carolina and Florida State? And who has a better coach is another thing, too. Florida State has some guys coming back. So does UNC. Florida State's plus 185 to win the ACC, and North Carolina's plus 650. And both quarterbacks are 18-1 to win the Heisman Trophy. And I know North Carolina loses Josh Downs. That's a big loss. Florida State loses Dylan Gibbons on the line. That's a significant loss. Cedric Gray comes back defensively for UNC. Trey Benson I believe is back in school, which is good for Florida State. Robert Scott of Florida State is back as well. So you know what? I like both guys a lot. But I'm going to go with Jordan Travis at 18-1. I'm going to lay a half unit on it. And maybe Clemson isn't as good. And I think that Florida State could have a big bounce back here in a big way this year. So I'm going to go with Jordan Travis to the Heisman Trophy, 18-1. So my first college football future this year. And you heard it right here in the portfolio segment. All right, my NHL mock draft. This is number 6 of 7, which the last one will be tomorrow that I will unveil. So today's, without further ado, number 1, the Chicago Blackhawks. Connor Bedard, center, Regina. We talked about Bedard a lot. We know he's going to be a star. He's going to rejuvenate the Blackhawks franchise. 2, Anaheim Ducks. Adam Fantilli, center, Michigan, NCAA. This feels like a lock at this point now, too. It looks like he's going to go right to the NHL. He'd fit nice with the Ducks and Trevor Zegras and all of them. 3, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Leo Carlsson, center, wing, Orebo, Sweden. Carlsson feels like the obvious pick for Columbus, too. He's big and he has good skill. 4, the San Jose Sharks. Will Smith, center, USA Under-18, NTDP. Smith feels like the obvious pick here as well. And the Sharks really do need to go with the best guy available too. Number 5, the Montreal Canadiens. Matevy Maikov, wing, St. Petersburg, Russia. Maikov could drop. But I think this is the highest I could see him picked, with the lowest being maybe 8 to the Caps. Any other year, he could have been the top guy in the draft. Number 6, the Arizona Coyotes. Dalibor Dvorsky, center, H, Sweden. D-backs, or not the D-backs, the Coyotes have 2 first-round picks. They have to go best player available. Clayton Keller might get traded. 7, the Philadelphia Flyers. David Reinbacher, defenseman, EHC Clawton. Flyers, I have going defense with their first of 2 picks. He's the best defenseman in the draft, in my opinion. 8, the Washington Capitals, Ryan Leonard, the wing, USA Under 18, NTDP. Safe bet player. Perfect for the Caps. Character guy. 9, the Detroit Red Wings, Tom Willander, defenseman, Rogel Jr., Sweden Jr. Willander's fast rising. Very solid two-way guy. 10, the St. Louis Blues, Oliver Moore, forward, USA Under 18, NTDP. More fast riser as the draft approaches tomorrow. Fast speed. Ideal pick for them, too. Number 11, the Vancouver Canucks. Nate Danielson, center. Brandon, WHL. The Canucks got a center prospect here in Danielson, which they, with Bo Horvat and trade rumors. Danielson is a great tools kit, character guy. 12, the Arizona Coyotes from the Ottawa Senators. Zach Benson, wing, Winnipeg, WHL. Part of me wonders if Arizona could trade up to the top 3 and get, or maybe up to 3 or 4, and maybe the Sharks, for instance, and then the Sharks move back and get assets. I think Arizona's in play to do that, but I don't know if San Jose is willing to do that. Meanwhile, Benson, really good IQ. He has good skill as well. 13, the Buffalo Sabres. Gabriel Perreault, wing, USA Under 18, NTDP. Perreault, really nice player from that loaded NTDP team. Very good all-around game. 14, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Matthew Wood, wing, UConn, NCAA. This would be a good pick for the Pens as they're a team that needs some youth in their system. Wood is a power forward type of player with a lot of high-end skill. 15, the Nashville Predators. Axel Sandin Palika, defenseman, Skellefteå Junior, Sweden. Sandin Palika, very, very fast riser with the draft coming tomorrow. Good puck handler. He could guide an offense. 16, the Calgary Flames. Andrew Crystal, wing, Kelowna, WHL. The Flames aren't far away from being a contender in the West again. Crystal's another fast riser. Just a really gifted offensive player. 17, the Detroit Red Wings from the New York Islanders via the Vancouver Canucks. Colby Barlow, wing, Owen, OHL. With their second first rounder, I have the Wings going with the forward. Very good scorer, good defender. 18, the Winnipeg Jets. Dmitry Simashev, defenseman, Yaroslav Jr., Russia Jr. The Jets, just a legit blow-it-up candidate. They need young defensemen. He's good. Offensive game, too. 19, the Chicago Blackhawks from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Daniil Boot, wing, Loco, Yaroslavel, OHL. Blackhawks, fast riser. In Boot here with their second first rounder. Force off the boards. Not a good skater, though. 20, the Seattle Kraken. Oliver Bunk, defenseman, London, OHL. This would be a solid pick for the Kraken as they need young defensemen. Bunk is big, good puck mover. 21, the Minnesota Wild. Edward Sale, wing, Brno, Chesia. The Wild are in an interesting spot considering their cap situation, so they're under some pressure to nail the pick. Polarizing player. 22, the Philadelphia Flyers from Los Angeles Kings via the Columbus Blue Jackets. Kellen Ritchie, forward, Oshawa, OHL. Flyers grab the forward and Ritchie. Very good all around. 23, the New York Rangers. Braden Yeager, center, Moose Jaw, WHL. The Rangers need center depth in their system. Yeager could be a steal at 23, though. But people think he could slide out of the first round due to his height and lack of scoring, but he does have a quick shot. 24, the Nashville Predators from the Edmonton Oilers. Otto Stenberg, forward for Lunda, SHL. With their second first rounder, the Oilers get the versatile guy in Stenberg, strong player, good wrist shot. 25, the St. Louis Blues from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Charlie Stammel, center, Wisconsin NCAA. The Blues, with their second first rounder, take the center in Stammel. Not a great draft season, but good frame, physical, and could skate. 26, the San Jose Sharks from the New Jersey Devils. Quinton Mootsie, wings, Sudbury, OHL. This could be a goalie spot, realistically. But Mootsie is someone that could go in the lottery. He's just very fearless and is awesome to watch. 27, the Colorado Avalanche. Bradley Nadeau, forward, Penticton, BHCL, or BCHL. The Avs take a fast rising prospect in Nadeau. He really tore up that league. 28, the Toronto Maple Leafs from the Boston Bruins via the Washington Capitals. Ethan Gauthier, wing, Sherbrooke, QMJHL. With their lone first rounder, the Leafs take a rising prospect in Gauthier. He's someone that has established himself as a good goal scorer, and his power forward status fits him well. 29, the St. Louis Blues from the Dallas Stars via the New York Rangers. Etienne Morin, defenseman, Moncton, QMJHL. With their third first rounder, the Blues go defense here with Morin. Good puck mover and excels in transition. And 30, the Carolina Hurricanes, Riley Height, center, Prince George, WHL. The Canes can go anywhere with this pick. Height is someone who saw a large point total increase this past year. Not big, but always in motion. 31, the Montreal Canadiens from the Florida Panthers. Cohen Zimmer, wing, Prince George, WHL. Back-to-back Prince George guys going in this mock. He has a balanced game with a great shot and is a good playmaker. And 32, the Vegas Golden Knights, David Eastrom, center, Frolund Jr., Sweden Jr. Eastrom here would be a steal to Vegas. Really good two-way player and has good size. So there you have it for the latest mock draft. News and notes time now. We do have some stuff to get into in news and notes today. So, the Atlanta Hawks finally trade John Collins to the Utah Jazz for Rudy Gay and a future second-round pick. So, the John Collins trade saga is over, and now Atlanta wants to do some bigger things. They're thinking Siakam. They have some other guys in mind. Siakam for Trae Young and other parameters would be a very interesting trade for both teams, amazingly enough. I don't know if I like this trade for Utah, though. Now they're kind of, loaded in the front court. Because they take the guy in the draft. And now they have John Collins and Walker Kessler and Lauri Markkanen. That gives them a lot of flexibility in the front court, but I don't know if I like the fit. Not a big fan of the fit. And then Rudy Gay on Atlanta, second round pick sweetener. They just traded John Collins too late. That's just the reality of the situation. I don't really like this trade for either team, personally. The Rockets rookies get their numbers. Eamon Thomas is wearing 1, and Ken Whitmore's wearing 7, so that's pretty cool. So Chris Haynes, who's literally Dame Lillard's BFF, they met in Portland yesterday to figure out their future, and then the GM comes out and says the team is committed to building a winner around Dame Lillard after a meeting on Monday. I still not sold that Dame is going to be on the Blazers to start the season. I'm not sold on that whatsoever. So keep an eye on that. And before the John Collins trade happens, Adrian Wojnarowski reported the Hawks are in deal-making mode. and they can climb into the luxury tax for the right upgrades. The Utah Jazz had Porzingis offer, and they were preparing an offer expected to exceed the total compensation the Celtics can provide. That's wild. Him on Utah instead of John Collins, and I wonder, you got to wonder if they got him, they probably don't take Taylor Hendricks. They probably take like Grady Dick instead or something like that. The Lakers won't lose Austin Reeves, as the Lakers considered a lock to match any offer of Reeves, even if another team gives him a max offer sheet. I predicted that he was going to leave the Lakers, but it looks like he won't. The Rockets are favorites to land both Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet when free agency opens on Friday. That makes a lot of sense for them. Chris Paul's excited to join the Warriors, according to Chris Haynes. Draymond may meet with other teams, as he is very open to take free agency meetings amid the expectation he returns to Golden State. Last night was the NHL awards. The Calder Trophy, Matty Beniers. The Vezina, Linus Ullmark. Erik Karlsson wins the Norris. Jack Adams, Jim Montgomery. And the Hart Trophy, of course, Connor McDavid. The one I do not like is Jim Montgomery. He did not deserve to win the Coach of the Year. I'm sorry. I understand it's a regular season award, but if you lose in round one with the year you had and blowing a 3-1 series in the process, you don't deserve shit. I'm sorry. And Jim Montgomery, good coach, but he did not deserve the Jack Adams. The two other finalists had better cases. Dave Haxtell took an expansion team, year 2 expansion team, to the second round, and Lindy Ruff led the Devils to a top 2 finish in the Metro Division with a major turnaround, knocked off the Rangers, and made the second round and lost in 5 to Carolina. I understand that series wasn't great for him, but that 49-point turnaround, I think the best in the league history, he really deserved the honor. And I would have been fine with him or Dave Haxtell winning, but not Jim frickin' Montgomery, who, yet again, his favoritism towards a big market team that had a historic season and a team that had cup or bust expectations that failed to meet them miserably. So, I'm sorry. That is the most undeserving award I've seen in some time in any sport. And maybe it's because of the playoff failure, but it's also because the two gentlemen that were against him deserved the honor too. The Preds hired Pekka Rinne as a European development coach and scout. Very interesting. The Preds are in the bringing back the past mood all of a sudden. Rinne and Barry Trotz is now their GM. Jack Eichel got a Stanley Cup tattoo, which was pretty awesome. A hockey trade happened yesterday. Taylor Hall and the rights to Nick Foligno traded from Boston to Chicago for restricted free agency and Mitchell and Alec Regula. I like this a lot for the Blackhawks. I had a feeling that Chicago was going to go for it in some way with Connor Bedard in town now. The Spurs should be doing the same thing with Wembanyama. Like, these two guys are special talents that you don't get often. They're McDavid and LeBron, or I should say Giannis in Wemby's case, because I comped them to Giannis. But it's just very fun and to have these two guys around. And good on the Blackhawks for getting this done. So now we'll move on to baseball. the Texas Rangers are interested in Andrew McCutchen as they broach the possibility of doing so. That's according to John Morosi. I think Andrew McCutchen is someone that probably will get traded, and someone's going to take advantage of his good season with Pittsburgh. But I think the Rangers should go with another Pittsburgh player, Brian Reynolds. I don't think Andrew McCutchen's a difference maker in a championship team in today's day and age. Maybe in 2018 or 19 he would have been, but I think that he's not that difference-making player anymore, personally. I'd go with Brian Reynolds. I'd go with some other guys that could be available at the deadline. Maybe Tyler O'Neill. Maybe Chris Bryant of the Rockies. So I think there's better names out there for Texas. And I think Chris Bryant might be my favorite one that I've thought about other than Brian Reynolds. Jazz Chisholm off the injured list after missing 6 weeks from the toe injury. So that is really good news for the Marlins. Giancarlo Stanton dismisses the booing fans as he says, "Booing is the least of my worries amid slump," as he is batting .121 since his return from injury. Yankee fans with Giancarlo Stanton's like a love-hate relationship at this point. They boo him when he does poorly, and they embrace him when he does well. He's just in a really terrible slump, and he got a big hit the other day in that rally against the Rangers, but we'll see. The Futures game roster is out for both the American League and the National League. We're going to be very quick with this. American League pitchers: Clayton Beeter, Yankees; Jonathan Cannon, White Sox; Joey Cantillo, Guardians; Shane Doran, Red Sox; David Festa, Twins; Will Klein, Royals; Sam Rossabert, Blue Jays; Owen White, Rangers; Yusvar Zoleda, Jays; catchers: Harry Ford, Mariners; Edgar Cuero, Angels; Tyler Soderstrom, Athletics; infielders: Junior Caminero, Rays; Jackson Holiday, O's; Colt Keith, Tigers; Justin Henry, Maui, Tigers; Kyle Manzado, Rays; Marcelo Meyer, Red Sox; Kyron Paris, Angels; Nick York, Red Sox; outfielders: Lawrence Butler, Rays; Jonathan Clase, Mariners; Drew Gilbert, Astros; Spencer Jones, Yankees; Heston Kjerstad, O's. National League pitchers: Mick Abel, Phils; Kyle Harrison, Cards; Turk Hintz, Cards; JP Massey, Pirates; Jacob Mizorowski, Brewers; Patrick Monteverde, Marlins; Spencer Swellenbach, Braves, who we saw earlier in the year; Mike Vassell, Mets; Carson Wisenhunt, Giants; catchers: Jefferson Cuero, Brewers; Dalton Rushing, Dodgers; infielders: Ryan Bliss, D-backs; Brady House, Nats; Jordan Lauer, D-backs; Noel V. Marte, Reds; Jackson Morrill, Padres; BJ Murray Jr., Cubs; Nasim Nunez, Marlins; Andy Rodriguez, Pirates; and outfielders: Jackson Chuero, Brewers; Justin Crawford, Phils; Peter Crostrom, Cubs; Young Quill Fernandez, Rockies; Victor Scott, Cards; and James Wood, Nats. So that is a pretty loaded roster, if you ask me. Jordan Westburg had a ton of people for his debut. Xander Bogaerts was caught being frustrated with the Padres on mic against the Nats. Shohei Ohtani is now back in the home run league. College basketball, Trey Mitchell to Kentucky after leaving West Virginia. That's a good get for Cal. Bayern bids $76 million plus for Kane, as he has just 1 year left on his Tottenham contract. Ricardo Pepi signs for PSV as he moves to the Dutch club, an $11 million deal from Augsburg. And then Weah agrees Juve move as a $13 million deal was agreed upon. Medical set for Thursday. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. Sorry, notes took a little long. There was one that jumped out to me. There was actually two, but really one. There was an under Braves Twins. I'm going to lay a half unit on it. Under 9, minus 115. I'll lay the half unit on it. So there you go. So that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. Look ahead to everything tomorrow. Golf pick, another mock draft, which will be the last one for hockey and more. Have a good one, everyone.